Hello, Bronco fans and football fans everywhere. Welcome to Broncos Breakdown on the MHRT network, as well as my own channel, Broncos Breakdown on YouTube. This is a show that is everything Broncos and brought to you with emotion, passion, honesty, and of course, my comments along with yours in the chat. I am your host, Bronco Bill. Guys, I hope you had a fantastic week. Halloween was last night. Hope everybody was safe. Had a wonderful time. Just seeing those cute little kids. I had quite a few over here at the house. I had a little fire pit on the driveway. Neighbor came over and hung out with me, and just had a good time. Had a really good time. Nice and safe, and everybody seemed to have enjoyed themselves, put it that way. And you can never go wrong with a fire pit on the driveway. Staying nice and warm. So wherever you may be, guys, hope you have a fantastic weekend coming up. The Broncos have a very important game this Sunday. We'll get into that. We'll get into a lot of different topics. I only have 7 topics tonight instead of the normal 10. But, hey, it's still going to be a fun show. Thanks each and every one of you for participating, whether you're just watching, listening, you're in the chat. I really do thank each and every one of you always, always, always. You guys are the backbone. I've said that many times. Thanks so much, guys. All right, let's go to the chat. Batting leadoff is my brother-in-law from Las Vegas. He says, Rudy Torres said, let's go, Bronco Bill. Thanks, man. Really do appreciate it. That is followed up by D-Rock that says, Big Bill. I say, what's up, Big D-Rock? Nice to have you. Really do appreciate it. All right. We're going to start it off with, wait a minute. Hang on. I got to do this. Almost forgot, guys. You got to bring up the topic so you guys know what we're talking about. And makes it a little bit easier. You guys can comment on different things that you see coming up. If you look at the bottom of my name right here, it says Broncos last wild card spot. That's right. That's right. The Broncos now hold the 5th spot in the playoffs. We're going to get into some of that. It's this game coming up this Sunday is beyond important. Beyond important. And I'll get into that as we go along. All right, here we go. Very first topic is this. Broncos, Panthers game recap. All right. Now, Broncos trailed in this game early, 7-0. In fact, Panthers went right straight down the field on this very, very good, if not great, Broncos defense. Right down the field. But that's the only time they scored until the 4th quarter when it was mop-up time. Now, the final score in this game was Denver 28, Carolina 14. But there were some incidents within that game that I'm going to get into. It's the third topic. It's right there. And we'll get into that as to what the issues were. But I'll tell you what, Bo Nix is the real deal, guys. Bo Nix is the real deal. And ever since Sean Payton took off the training wheels of Bo Nix has been like the Bo Nix that we drafted him for, to be that guy. Do you realize Bo Nix has already eclipsed John Elway numbers? Oh, yeah. We're going to get into that too. He's eclipsed a lot of John Elway's accolades and his records and his wins or whatever. As a rookie, Bo Nix is past that. Bo Nix, and I was skeptical. And I know you guys know this. I was skeptical because we've never drafted a franchise quarterback that really turned out to be a franchise quarterback. Sure, we drafted people like Drew Lock, Brock Osweiler, Tim Tebow, who I love. Names like that never materialized. So when we drafted Bo Nix, I'm like, oh, God, here we go. Another high expectations that isn't going to come true. Okay, I admit I was wrong. So far, I'm wrong. And I'm glad to be wrong. I'm glad to be wrong, because ever since we got John Elway in that trade from the Colts, and we got Peyton Manning to come over again from the Colts because they let him go, the Broncos have never had a franchise quarterback lasting more. Well, Elway lasted 16 years. That was fantastic. Peyton Manning was 5. So, it's great to have this feeling. I'm still very cautious. We haven't played the Chiefs yet. We haven't played Baltimore yet. That's this Sunday. We still have the Cleveland Browns. We still have the Chargers. We still have the Raiders. We still have tough teams, guys. We do. So as much as I'm enjoying this, as much as I'm enjoying a 5-3 record, as much as I'm enjoying Bo Nix being Bo Nix and Sean Payton letting him be Bo Nix, I'm still a little cautious. I'm very cautious. I know this game that we beat the Panthers was 28-14, and the game before that when we beat the Saints. Yes, those are statement games, but the statement games begin this Sunday. They begin this Sunday, and I don't want to spoil anything. I'm not going to do any spoiler alerts or anything. I'm not going to do that, but we'll get into that as the show goes on and towards the end. If you look at the last, it's this way, Bill. Come on, get it right. It's right the other side, the very bottom one. That's my prediction of the Broncos Ravens, and then we have the Chiefs out there. But I'm getting way, way, way ahead of myself. All right, back to the Broncos Panthers recap. Fantastic game. Bo Nix was on fire, absolutely on fire. So were the receivers. They were running great routes. There was no turnover. Well, there was a turnover in the Broncos. That's how Carolina got the first touchdown. It was a fumble, and it was deep. It was not. I wouldn't say deep in Denver's territory. It was like the 38, 40 yard line, something like that. But Carolina went right down, scored a touchdown, and that was it until the fourth quarter. In the fourth quarter, the Broncos were already ahead 28-7. Carolina got a meaningless touchdown to make it look semi-good. If you want to look at 28-14 and being semi-good. But Denver was favored by 11, and they covered the spread. Absolutely covered the spread. And it was a game in which Bo Nix really shined. He really shined. And I'll get into that in just a little bit. But that's the recap of the Broncos Panthers game. Fantastic win. The Broncos moved to 5-3, and now the meat, the pre-meat starts rearing its ugly head. Yeah, we got Baltimore followed by Kansas City, both on the road, followed by Atlanta at Denver. So it doesn't get much easier, guys. I mean, and that's the NFL. It's not going to get easy. It's not supposed to get easy. They're the best of the best. So, you got to play who's on your schedule. You got to play who's on your schedule. And like I said, we'll get into that in just a bit. All right, back to the comment line. Let's see. Wait a minute. Something's going on here. Okay, here we go. Rudy, what are you saying, man? Rudy's is going to be in the house right now. And hello. Okay, well, hello, man. Glad to have you aboard. As always. D-Rock says, go Dodgers. They had their parade today. I was shocked and stunned at the horrific play of the Yankees in the fifth inning. Aaron Judge muffs a ball right there in his glove, took his eyes off the ball. The pitcher doesn't cover first base. There was a wild pitch. It was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. But hey, you know what? I'm really, really, really happy for Freeman. Really, really happy for Freeman. What he and his wife have had to gone through. And I know this is a football thing, but hey, real life happens in different sports. Okay, so grant me the time to say this. Royce Freeman and his wife have had to endure a horrific year. Their 3-year-old son, in case you don't know, look this up on YouTube. Their 3-year-old son had this weird nerve syndrome or whatever. That's just crazy. Like 1 in a billion people would ever get this. And he's 3 years old, and it paralyzed him from his feet all the way up to his shoulders. Literally. Royce Freeman said it started from his feet all the way up to his shoulders. He had to learn to walk again. He's had to learn to breathe again. He has, we don't learn to breathe. That's just natural. He has to, because his body just wouldn't do it. He's had to learn to eat again, to learn to talk again. 3 years old. And Freeman has the ability to go onto the biggest stage in baseball history, well, baseball season for sure, and hit not 1 or 2 or 3, 4 home runs in 4 consecutive days. Not to mention, not to forget, I should say, the grand slam that won Game 1, a la Kirk Gibson. Rewind. Yeah, incredible. Am I a Dodger fan? No, I'm a Cubs fan. But man, when a story like that takes center stage, and oh, by the way, Freeman also won MVP. Yeah. You know who's MVP of that family? It's his son. It's his son for fighting. And yeah, I'm getting choked up because I got a grandson. I have a granddaughter, 12 and 7. This kid's 3. And Freeman has the ability to channel all of that into his emotion and into his gameplay and into his ability. Yeah, you don't think his son was on his mind? You don't think for one moment that didn't come into play? Yeah, it came into play. D-Rock, thank you so much, man, for reminding me of that. Yeah, that touches the heart. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you have a child or not. If that doesn't touch your heart, you're not human. You're not human. Wow. Whoo, D-Rock, thanks so much, man. Way to go, dude. He follows up by saying, if we win on Sunday, we will trade for a top-tier player. Wow, we're talking about the Broncos. If we win on Sunday, we will trade for a top-tier player. Well, that plays into one of my topics coming up here, and we'll definitely talk about a trade situation. Okay. Let's go down the chat list a little bit more. Let's see what else is in there. Bobby Hill III. Thanks so much for being in the chat. Really do appreciate it. First timer, really do appreciate it. Haven't seen you before. Thank you so much. Denver needs to take nothing less than a second round for Browning. I don't want Browning gone. I don't want him gone. He doesn't want to be gone. That's for doggone sure. And we'll get into that too, but he does not want to be gone. He said he loves Denver. He loves his teammates. I'll get into that too. Really do appreciate it. Thank you so much, Bobby Hill. Thank you so much. Kamani said, Brother Bill. I said, what's up, Brother Kamani? What's happening, my friend? G Money 88. Nice to see you in the chat. He says, what's up, Bronco Bill? Hope all's well. Everything's good. Broncos are about to shock the world the next 2 weeks. It feels very good to be a Broncos fan right now. You know what? It feels good to be a Broncos fan. I don't care what our record is. I love Broncos country. I love the Denver Broncos. I'm sure I'm happier when they win. Obviously, I'm happier when we win. But I'm a Broncos fan regardless, win, lose, or draw. I'm a Broncos fan 100%. 100%. Let's see. G Money 88 follows up by saying, we've been a better road team this year. I like our chances. I will get into that. Guys. Thank you so much for your comments. Really do appreciate it, for your points and what we're going to get into. So I think it's great. D-Rock, going back to baseball, says Aaron Judge was terrible on offense. He could not hit the ball. I don't know what was up. Last night in the ninth inning, Rizzo strikes out on the ball in the dirt, and then the last batter strikes out the ball in the dirt. I'm like, wow. Did these guys just want to mail it in or what? Well, when you're ahead 5-0 and you have the fifth inning is just completely erased, and the Dodgers come back and score 5 to tie it, yeah, the air goes out of the balloon. The wind goes out of the sails. Whatever cliche you want to use, that's what happened. That's what happened. And I can't blame the Yankees. I really can't, because they never showed up. When Freeman hits the grand slam in the first game in the 10th inning to win it with a walk-off grand slam, you don't think that scares the daylights out of the Yankees? And then he goes ahead for good measure, goes ahead and hits home runs in the next 3 games. When you're good, you're good. But he had extra motivation. I absolutely believe it 100%. Extra motivation from his son. And wow. You say what you want about Dodger players or the team or the fans or whatever. Say whatever you want. I'll tell you what. That Freeman is not only a class act, he put his family first, he put his child first, like most good parents do. And then when his son looks like he's getting better, Freeman goes, let me take this a step further. Wow. Yeah, it was amazing. Love to see it. Love to see great stories like that. Absolutely love to see great stories. All right, let's go into the second topic, and that is Vance Joseph. All right, here we go. With the Denver Broncos defense, one of the best in the league, rumors are flying about Vance Joseph being hired for head coach once again. Now remember, guys, he was head coach of the Denver Broncos several years back. Didn't work out too well. But now, because of the Broncos defense, he's being considered for head coach again. Here we go. Excuse me. Joseph responded to those rumors, and I quote, I don't have a thought about it right now. We have an off season, we have a draft season, and right now it's play and win season. There's a season for that stuff, head coach, but right now it doesn't have a place for me. Being mentioned is cool, but right now my mind is elsewhere. End quote. Beautiful. Great answer, Vance. Great answer. Why? Because he's being honest. He's being honest. His focus right now is defense on the Broncos. His focus right now is doing the best job he possibly can with the Bronco defense to get them to where he wants them to be, and that is elite. Well, right now they're not too bad. I think they're top 5, if I'm not mistaken, maybe top 7. They average giving up only 15.7 or 9 yards, or excuse me, 15 or 7.9. Yeah, 15.9, I should say, points per game. Okay, that's fantastic. That's fantastic in the NFL, because there's a lot of good teams out there. A lot of good teams out there. So the thing is, hold on a second, guys. My wife's coughing. I hope she's okay. Hold on. Let me hit mute real quick, guys. I'll be right back. All right, guys. Sorry about that. My wife was choking, and I didn't know if she had swallowed something and she couldn't breathe. But it turns out she just swallowed her coffee down the wrong pipe. So, hey, this is live. This is live show. So things like that do happen. So, okay, guys. Sorry about that. Let me go back to the chat real quick. D-Rock said, no, thank you, brother. You're very, very welcome. Very, very welcome. G-Money88 says, God bless Freddie Freeman and his son. Amen. Absolutely. Amen. Kamani is a little bit heartbroken. Kamani says, let's talk Broncos. I'm still hurting over that World Series. I totally understand, Kamani. I totally understand. I get it. But, I mean, what can I say? What can I say? I just cannot explain that fifth inning. Cannot explain that fifth inning. Let's see. D-Rock says, when we shook. Okay. The world expects VJ to be gone next season. Wow. Our defense is so solid, so good right now. And yeah, I know he's going to be a hot commodity, be a head coach. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see it. I want him back. I really do. Now, I know you guys are saying, oh, wow, Bronco Bill did a 180. Yes, I did. I did not want Vance Joseph as our defensive coordinator. I mean, after last year, give up 70 points to the Dolphins? Seriously? But then I heard and read and found out that Vance Joseph was using half of his style defense and half of Vic Fangio's style defense. It doesn't work that way. You can't mix oil and vinegar. It doesn't work. You got to be all in. You got to have a mixture. I mean, you got to do it your way. And that's what Vance Joseph is doing now. Do I think Vance Joseph could be a great head coach? No, I don't. Just like Wade Phillips. Wade Phillips was a Bronco head coach for a while, and then he was also the Bills head coach. And he sucked. But he's a fantastic defensive coordinator. Just not even a good head coach. And Vance Joseph, I think, is in the same boat. He's not a good head coach. But if somebody wants to take a chance, hey, go for it. I just don't want him gone because this defense is really clicking. And this defense needs a leader like Vance Joseph because they're buying into his system. It's not a combined system of Vic Fangio and Vance Joseph. It's Vance Joseph's defense. This is what we're seeing this year, guys. We didn't see that last year because it was a combined one. But we're seeing it this year. And so is the rest of the league who's looking for head coaches at the end of the season. That's what scares me. All right. What? Come on, he says, Bill leaving, which I did. Check on my wife. Bill leaving is brought to you by Ding Dongs. Well, that's a good sponsor. It's a good sponsor. I'm not sure how I could work that in. No pun intended. No pun intended when I said work that in to being a sponsor. But hey, it's worth a shot. Worth a shot, right? Worth a shot. Kamani follows up, says, glad she's okay. Same here. I asked her if she's fine, if she could breathe, and she said yes. She just swallowed her coffee wrong and went down the wrong pipe, caused her throat to lock up. So, anyways, I'm glad she's fine. Obviously, I'm glad she's fine. All right. Let's see. Kamani follows up by saying VJ should stay. He's not a good head. No, he's not a good head coach. He's really not. Really not. Travis Johnson, thank you so much for being in the chat. Really do appreciate it. I haven't seen you before, so welcome. Welcome. Thank you so much. He says we need to trade Sutton, Bowles, and Williams. They're part of the losing culture of the past. We can do better. Fire George Payton. Every GM makes moves, but him knowing we need wide receiver help and running back. Wow. That's a mouthful there, Travis. That's a mouthful. But I would have to agree with you on a couple of them. I don't agree on some of them or the other couple. Sutton, I like Sutton. I want to keep Sutton. I want to keep Cortland Sutton for sure. Bowles and Williams, yes, they have to go. Williams, ever since his 3 ligament injury in his knee, hasn't been the same. Garrett Bowles, he had one good year, and that was been it. I don't want him. I don't want him to stay on the team. Cortland Sutton, I love the kid. I think he's a good receiver. I wouldn't say he's fantastic, but he's definitely a good receiver, and I wouldn't want to get rid of him. George Payton, he's made some kind of controversial moves. I will agree with that. However, who are you going to get in the spot? I mean, he's better than Elway was. Elway made some moves, some good moves, but he also made some bad ones. And so, I mean, it's a hit and miss in the draft. Sometimes it's a hit and miss with coaching. You know, it's a hit and miss with the head coach. Do I fault George Payton for everything? No, I don't. But I do fault him for, several. But then again, when you're talking people like Russell Wilson, the ownership had to sign off on it. Now, was the ownership maybe blindsided and trusting George Payton way too much? Possibly so. But hey, when you buy when you buy a team for the first time and you've got both both feet into the water and sink or swim, hey, sometimes things happen. Sometimes you make bad decisions. Sometimes things just don't work out the way you want them to or way you hope to. Just the way it is sometimes. Just the way it is. But the only ones I'd want to get rid of are Bowles and Williams at this point in time. But thanks for your comment there, Travis. Really, really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. All right, let's go into the next topic. And this always bothers me. All right, this always bothers me. And here it is. It says Panthers are upset on trick play calls late in the game, fourth quarter. Okay. Hey, Carolina, if you can't stop the Broncos, why does the Broncos have to regress because you can't stop them? All of a sudden, we're supposed to, okay, well, what is it, the mercy rule like they have in softball games? That, high school softball games is a mercy rule? This is not high school. This is the NFL. You're getting paid millions of dollars to do a job. If you can't do that job, how's it the fault of the Broncos because they want to try certain plays that they may use down the road in later games this year? So why not try them on a team that isn't all that good, like Carolina? Why is it the Broncos' fault? The Panther players were irritated. Here we go. After the Carolina Panthers lost to the Broncos, several players from the Panthers were pissed that Sean Payton looked like he was, quote, trying to run up the score with two fourth quarter trick plays. Okay. There was a fake punt. The Broncos were on the Carolina 42 or 3 or something like that. They didn't want to punt. It's fourth down. They're like, yeah, what the heck? Do a fake punt. Why not? We may need that later in the year. We want to see how it works. They tried a fake punt. Didn't work. Carolina got pissed. Second trick play was a lateral, kind of a backwards pass, I should say, to a wide receiver. And he throws it like 40, 50, 60 yards down the field, and it's caught. That's Broncos' fault? Well, Carolina, aren't you trying to stop the play? Well, if you can't stop it, why should we not do it? Just because you can't stop it, does that mean I shouldn't do it? I shouldn't try? Oh, so if the score is 35-7, or in the Dolphins' case, when it was 70-30 or 70-20, Broncos couldn't stop Miami. Keep running up the score. Do what you got to do. If the Broncos can't stop the Dolphins, why should the Broncos have to, when they play Carolina, why should they have to not try? It's preposterous. It's stupid. It doesn't make any sense. Let me continue. In reality, Payton actually took the so-called foot off the play calling pedal. Nix was 21 of 27 for 220 yards in the first half. However, he was only 7 of 10 for 64 yards in the second half. Denver also ran the ball 19 times in the second half compared to only 13 times in the first half. So Denver basically scaled back the play calling, even though they threw in 2 trick plays in the fourth quarter. So Carolina's going to get pissed off at the 2 trick plays which only one of them worked, and not get upset about that? I mean, you can't have it both ways, Carolina. You can't. I just said that Bo Nix was 220 yards passing in the first half, but only 60 yards or 64 yards passing in the second half. So how can you say that the Broncos were trying to run up the score? Oh, because of the trick plays of which you stopped? Okay, so why are you getting upset? You stopped the freaking plays. Why are you getting upset, Carolina? You make no sense. You're just pissed off because you've only won one game. That's what it is. Why don't we call a spade a spade? Why don't we be honest? Why don't we be honest? Say, hey, you know what? We're pissed off because we're 1-7. Not because Denver tried 2 trick plays late in the fourth quarter, of which didn't work. Or you'd rather focus on that, Carolina. You'd rather focus on that, huh? Instead of your own ineptness of being 1-7. Doesn't seem to make too much sense. Doesn't seem to make too much sense. Uh-oh. Oh, there it is. Okay. I was looking for the main topic. I didn't see it for a second. All right, let's go back to the comments before we get to the next topic. And that is let's see. Travis Johnson says Elway got 2 Super Bowls as GM and won 1. No, he won 2. He won back-to-back Super Bowl 32 and Super Bowl 33, and he won 1 as a GM Super Bowl 50. Okay, but you got it right. I mean, there's 2 and 1, but you got it flipped. So it's 2 Super Bowls as winning quarterback, 1 as a GM. All right, but Travis, thanks for chiming in. Really do appreciate it. It says anybody should have been crying. If anybody should have been crying, is Peyton or Sean Payton, 70 points versus 28 against the Dolphins. Yeah, I know. It was crazy. It was crazy. But you know what? It's only 1 loss. Everybody kept saying, man, you guys got drilled. I said, how many losses was that? How many losses did that equate to? Well, just 1 loss. Yeah, 1 loss. You win 21-20 or you lose 70-28. What's the big deal? You lost. 1. Not multiple. 1. That's all it was. Just 1 loss. All right. Let's see. D-Rock says, if you don't want us to run the score, which we didn't, then don't let us score. That was my point. D-Rock. That's what I was saying. If you can't stop us, why is it the Broncos' fault? If you can't stop us, are we supposed to just go lie down and go, okay, well, we're just going to take a kneel down, all 3 downs, and then we'll punt. Is that what Carolina wanted us to do? Of course they did. We embarrassed them in the Super Bowl 50. They still haven't gotten over that. Cam Newton never was the same after that game. And in my opinion, Carolina hasn't been the same since that game. That's how devastating of a Broncos defense that game was. Oh, yeah. Carolina's still pissed off. So I guarantee it. The players are not the same. Organization is. They're still pissed off. And they're going to say, oh, well, you should have lied down and, you shouldn't have tried those trick plays because you're trying to run up the score. We never scored again. It was 28-7 when that happened. 28-7. We didn't get 20. We didn't get 31. We didn't get 35. What are you crying about? Carolina, shut up. You guys are crybabies. You're 1-7. Shut up. Period. All right. There you go, Kamani. I didn't read what you said prior to saying what I said, but he echoes me. He said the Panthers are crybabies. When you are a sorry team, you look for sympathy. Bingo. Exactly right, Kamani. You nailed it. And that's what I was saying. They're just crybabies. They're 1-7. They suck. They have not been a good team since Denver had a beatdown in Super Bowl 50. They have not been the same Absolutely have not. And they're going to cry because it looked like Denver was going to run up the score because they tried trick plays that didn't work. Okay, didn't work. Why are you crying? You know, freaking put the pacifier back in your freaking mouth. Period. Okay. Whew. All right. Kamani says beat the Packers and Falcons as a quarterback and at GM. He got one with the Broncos. Beat the Panthers, I believe. Let's see. Wait a minute. Beat the Packers. Yeah, we beat the Packers Super Bowl 32, Falcons Super Bowl 33 as quarterback. You're right. And GM with the Broncos win over the Panthers. Absolutely right, Kamani. Absolutely right. Okay. Let's move on. How about this one? This, I have not been able to say this, guys. I have not been able to say this for 8 years. 8 seasons. 8 years since I'm able to even think, let alone contemplate, let alone breathe these words. Here it is. Broncos in playoff. What? Playoffs? Playoffs? Don't talk to me about playoffs. Broncos in playoff position? Yes. I know it's early, guys. I know it's early. It's only 7 games into the season. I get it. But hey, we'll take any type of hope, rainbow, silver lining, whatever cliche you want to use when it comes to playoffs that we haven't even thought of for 8 seasons. Here it is. After 7 consecutive, wait a minute. What's going on, guys? Okay. After 7 consecutive losing seasons, the Broncos have won 5 of their last 6 games and have lofty intentions. Mike McGlinchey said regarding the playoffs, and I quote, "The goal for this team and what we're capable of is definitely a postseason," end quote. The Broncos will face the Baltimore Ravens and the Kansas City Chiefs, both on the road, beginning this Sunday. McGlinchey continued with this comment, and I quote, "I wouldn't call it a measuring stick per se, but it's an opportunity to get out there and compete against 2 great football teams starting this Sunday with Baltimore," end quote. That's the testing point right there. I wouldn't say we had gravy games because no game in the NFL is a gravy game. We played the Saints. We played the Chargers. We played the Steelers. We played the Seahawks. We played the Raiders. Okay? We've played some games that we were expected to win. Now, the proof is in the pudding, so to speak. Okay? Another cliche. Proof is in the pudding. Okay? The cream rises to the top. All of these things. The Broncos are on the road in Baltimore this coming Sunday, followed up by following Sunday at Kansas City, divisional game. And then the Broncos come home and play the Atlanta Falcons 2 weeks from this Sunday. Okay? Now, the Broncos are 5-3. We are at the number 5 spot in the playoffs, the last wild card spot. Who are we barely above? Yeah, the Baltimore Ravens, the team we play this Sunday. Now, I'm not going to get into my prediction. I've got some things I want to say along that line, but I just wanted to whet your appetite about what the last topic is. This is a very important game. They're all important. When you only play 17 games, they're all important. This is up there with the Kansas City Chiefs, and I'll explain why in the very last topic. All right. Here we go. Okay. Back to the chat real quick. That chat's blowing up, and I love it, guys. Thank you so much for being in the chat. Really do appreciate it. Mike Clark, who we all know as Madungus, he says, as far as the Panthers go, you don't like it, stop it. Exactly. That's my point. That's what the Miami Dolphins were saying last year. You don't want us to roll up 70 points? Then stop us. And we couldn't. But the Panthers have to take their pacifier and their ball and their whiny little butt and their diapers on their backside and go back home to Carolina crying because it looked like Denver wanted to roll up the score. And we haven't forgotten Super Bowl 50, and it still hurts. I don't like it. Shut up. Shut up. You're 1-7. Good gosh, man. Madungus, what are you saying? Looked like Bill's wife turned on his vibrating panties. What the heck did that come from? My vibrating panties. Why could what the heck? What the heck, dude? That was a good one. I kind of don't know where it was coming from, but whatever. Kamani Dixon says, is Lamar Jackson playing? I don't know, but I do know. Vance Joseph did say that he expects Lamar Jackson to play. They're preparing the defense as if Lamar Jackson is going to play. And then if he's not playing, then they will alter it at game time. But right now, Vance Joseph, the defense, they're all preparing for Lamar Jackson. So I don't know what that's worth, Kamani, but that's all I got. Okay. Kamani Dixon follows up by saying, if we go 2-1, that would be good, meaning Baltimore, Kansas City, and Atlanta. So my question to you is, Kamani, and please answer this in the chat. Of the three games, you went 2 wins, 1 loss. Who gets the loss? Who's the only team that gets the loss? Is it Kansas City that we lose to? Is it Atlanta, heaven forbid we lose to them? Or is it Baltimore this Sunday we lose to them? All right. Which one do you have as the Broncos losing if we go 2-1 in the next 3 games? All right. Kamani says, we beat the Ravens and the Falcons. We lose to the Chiefs in Kansas City. All right. I can agree with that. Yeah. I don't see us beating Kansas City in Kansas City. Now, the last game of the season, we have the Chiefs in Denver, and that could be a win. I mean, it could be up for the division title. I doubt it. More or less a wild card for the Broncos. Not sure if Kansas City is going to be playing all their players in Week 18. I don't know. Obviously, we're not in Week 18, so we don't know that yet. So just very, very interesting, though. But I would agree with that. Beat the Ravens this Sunday, and then the Falcons in a couple weeks after that, and lose to the Chiefs in the middle. All right. Madungus Creed says, you looked down in between your legs and said, what the heck was that? No, my foot. I have my what's that called? When you plug in all your surge protector. I have my surge protector down there on the floor. And for some reason, I stretched out my foot and I pulled it back. And I'm like, what the heck is that? But no, it's not the vibrator. There's no vibrating panties. Man, we're not even in the neighborhood. We're not even doing the neighborhood. And it's already gone south, man. Whew, that escalated quickly. Yeah, no doubt. No, I'm not going to get the Rudy Torres, my brother-in-law from Vegas, says, don't forget the lotion. No. We're not going down that road. All right. Trying to get this show back on track, which whenever Madungus shows up, it's never going to be back on track. But anyways, we move on. Next topic. Excuse me. Bo Nix, it says offensive player of the month. That's true. But he was offensive rookie of the month, which even more meaningful. God, there you go again, grabbing it again, man. Even more meaningful. Here it is. Rookie quarterback Bo Nix has been named the National Football League's Offensive Rookie of the Month for October. Nix is just the 3rd Broncos player to earn the league-wide honor. The other 2 are Mike Anderson, September and December of 2000, and Clinton Portis, October of 2002. Nix led all rookie quarterbacks in passing touchdowns with 7, passing TDs to interceptions ratio, 7 touchdowns to 1 interception, passing yards 870, and rushing TDs 2. He is also tied for the rookie quarterback lead in wins with 5. Also, in the Carolina game, Nix became the first quarterback in Broncos history. God, this guy just keeps setting records, man. And we're only in week 7 or week 8. This is crazy. Let me go back to what I just said. Also in the Carolina game, Nix became the first quarterback in Broncos history to throw 3 touchdowns and rush for another touchdown without throwing an interception. Yeah, that's Bo Nix. That's not John Elway. John Elway never did that. And John Elway was a fantastic quarterback for the Broncos. Took the Broncos to 5 Super Bowls and won 2 of them. That's fantastic. That's Hall of Fame stats. That's Hall of Fame accomplishments, of which he is in the Hall of Fame. And Bo Nix is destroying his records left and right, and even setting records that John Elway never accomplished. Now, am I saying that Bo Nix is better than John Elway? I can't say that. I can't say that over 16 years. I don't know. Heaven forbid a catastrophic injury ends his career like it did Terrell Davis. But what I can say is what Bo Nix is doing now, and I know it's a completely different NFL. It's more of a wide open NFL. But the Broncos are still running the ball, just like they did with Terrell Davis. Maybe not as frequently. Terrell Davis rushed for over 200 yards in a season. I don't see the Broncos doing that anytime soon. But I'm telling you, what Bo Nix is doing is legendary. And it's only 8 games in a season, but it's legendary. He's accomplishing things that this Broncos organization has never seen. Wow. Is the ceiling? I mean, is the sky the limit for this guy? Absolutely it is. But it's up to him and the coaching staff and the team and the ownership and the GM. It's up to everybody. It's up to the fans to support. I've mentioned that many times, how much I can't stand Bronco fans not showing up and support. I don't care what the Broncos record is. You show up and support. No 2 ways about it. They need you more when they're down than when they're up. But we need support constantly. It takes all of us. And Bo Nix feeds off of the fans. The team feeds off of the fans. The coaching staff feeds off of the fans to some degree. They get into it. And Bo Nix is doing things that Broncos country has never seen from a quarterback. I mean, we've seen some greatness from John Elway. Don't get me wrong. I saw some fantastic things from Tim Tebow, and Brock Osweiler when Peyton Manning was injured. That propelled us into Super Bowl 50, in the playoffs in Super Bowl 50. Absolutely. Bo Nix, wow. 8 games into the season, and this kid is just lighting it up, man. Just absolutely lighting it up. All right, let's get back to the comments real quick before we move on. Madungus, no, not Jergens lotion. I'm not using. What you guys have, man? You guys twisted the show, man. You've twisted the show. Ay. No, Rudy, no panties. None. I don't wear them. I don't wear Depends. Holy Toledo, man. Ladre Grant, thanks so much for being in the chat. First timer, haven't seen you before. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here. Really do appreciate it. He says, can't wait to see Bo go toe-to-toe with Lamar. All right, Ladre, let me ask you this question. In this game, Lamar Jackson going against the Bronco defense and Bo Nix going against the Baltimore Ravens defense, who do you give the edge to? Now, we know Lamar Jackson can run lights out. I mean, the guy's quick. He's quick. He's elusive. He's accurate on passing. Bo Nix can pass on the run. Bo Nix has legs. I just don't think he's as quick as Lamar Jackson. Who, in your opinion, Ledre has the advantage. And Baltimore's at home. I give them that. Obviously, they're at home. They got their fans. Who do you give the edge to? Lamar Jackson against the Broncos' solid, strong defense, or Bo Nix against the Ravens' defense? Which one do you give the edge to? Really like to get your opinion, what you think on that. Really do appreciate it. All right. Let's get back to the last topic, and that is Baron Browning and a possible trade involving him. How does he think about it? Here it is. Let me go back out of the comment. All right. Here we go. Let me get into that topic. Here it is. Sitting at 5-3 Denver Bronco record, a few Broncos players have been mentioned as targets for other teams. Among those is Baron Browning. Please, no. Browning was asked about the possible trade. He said this, and I quote, "I really don't stress myself with stuff I can't control. Worrying about that won't do me no good. I love it here in Denver. I love my teammates. This is where I was drafted, and I hate moving." End quote. Browning also noted that no extension talks have taken place between Denver and his agent. That is not good. That is not good. Why Baron Browning is being shopped? I also read that that letting him go does not really do a significant increase in the cap space. It doesn't do a whole lot. There's not that much money that the Broncos would save. They would save more with Courtland Sutton. I don't want Courtland Sutton gone either. Why would I want a wide receiver gone? No way, shape, or form do I want that. None whatsoever. But do I want Baron Browning gone? No, absolutely not. I don't want any Bronco players gone that we currently have. And I didn't want some players gone that are gone. I didn't want Josie Jewell gone. I didn't want Justin Simmons gone. I didn't want Jerry Jeudy gone. I didn't want those. I didn't want Cushionberry. I didn't want any of them. But like Baron Browning said, why worry over things you can't control? As a fan, I can't control those things. There's nothing I can do. I can just sit back and hope for the best. There's nothing I can physically possibly do. Do I want Baron Browning gone? No. I mentioned that already. I don't. But it's out of my hands. It's out of his hands. And like you said, there are no extension talks between the Broncos and his agent. Now, maybe that's due to the season going on and they don't want to do it during the season. Maybe they'll do it in their bye week, which is like way down, like number 13 or 14 week. Maybe they'll do it then. Maybe he won't even be on the team at that point in time because he's been traded. That I would not want. That I would not appreciate. But again, I have zero control, just like everybody else. All right, back to the comments. Keith O'Donnell, how you doing, my friend? Glad to see you in the chat. Says, I doubt the Broncos will get a 6th or 7th for Browning. No trade. I don't want him traded either. And you know, if you're going to trade him for a 6 or 7, that's preposterous. You should never make that deal. That would be a horrible deal for the Broncos. Absolutely a horrible, horrible deal. I don't see it. I don't want it. He doesn't want to go anywhere. He said he loves it in Denver, loves the teammates, doesn't want to go anywhere. Like you said, he has no control. He has zero control. All right. We are going to go to the very last topic. Thanks each and every one of you for sticking around for just right around 55 minutes of the show, a little bit shorter than normal. That's not due to anything else, but just the topics. Just didn't have a whole lot of topics and things. So thanks again, guys, for sticking around, listening to this crazy 66-year-old guy talk about football and other sports and that kind of thing. Really do appreciate it, whether you're watching, you're listening, or you're in the chat. Really do appreciate it. All right, here is the last topic for the very first day of November. By the way, guys, before I forget, don't forget this coming Sunday, 2 a.m. I do it on Saturday, like around 8 o'clock at night. But whenever you do it, make sure you turn your clocks back. We are falling back 1 hour this Sunday. It is going to revert back to standard time. You're gaining an hour of sleep unless you're like me and you look at the clock and it's 10 o'clock. Yeah, I still got another hour. So most of the time I don't get that extra hour of sleep. But regardless, don't forget to turn your clocks back, because if you don't, you're going to be early by an hour wherever you're going. Okay? So wherever you're going to church, going to store, going to family, wherever, you're going to be an hour early if you forget to turn your clock back. Okay? Turn your clock back. That means we got 25 hours to wait for the Bronco game from Saturday 10 a.m. to Sunday 10 a.m. We have 25 hours because we fall back that hour, which makes us wait 1 hour longer to watch the Bronco game. All right. I just wanted to throw that out there, guys. You're aware. Most of you probably are. Just a little reminder, not getting on the high horse or anything, just a little reminder to let you know we fall back 1 hour this Sunday. All right. Let's get into the last topic. The Broncos at the Baltimore Ravens. It's an early game. It's a 10 o'clock game, West Coast time. That means it's going to be coffee with the Broncos on the Broncos neighborhood at 10 a.m. Pacific time. And this is a very important game. Very important game. And here's the reason why. This is a 2-game swing. I mentioned earlier that the Denver Broncos hold the last playoff spot at the record of 5-3. The Baltimore Ravens are also 5-3, but the Broncos have, at the moment, a better conference record. Okay, so that means the Denver Broncos are in the number 5 seed. The Baltimore Ravens are sitting at number 6. Right behind Denver. That's why this game is critically important. It's a 2-game swing. And what I mean by 2 games is this. If Denver wins, they not only stay in the number 5 spot, but they knock the Ravens down a spot. Why? Because we would have beaten them head-to-head. Plus, we own the conference record. So that's 2 spots, basically. Okay? 2 tiebreaker spots. If we lose, now Baltimore jumps to the number 5 seed. Denver's falls to 6 or 7 because we would have lost to Baltimore head to head, and the conference would go to the Ravens. Even though it would be equal in the conference, no, we wouldn't be, because we would have lost to the Ravens at this conference. They would have beaten us. So it's a 2-game swing, guys. I'm telling you, this is not a 1-game swing. This is not, well, hey, we lost to an AFC opponent, but they're not in a division. So it's not a 2-game swing. Yes, it is, because we're talking playoffs now. We're not talking division. That's a whole nother parameter, whole nother issue. We're talking conference. When it comes down to playoffs, it goes conference. Unless you win your division, it goes division or conference. In this instance, it goes conference. We cannot afford to lose to Baltimore this Sunday. Is it going to be easy? No. Denver, something has to give. Something has to give. Baltimore is averaging 31 points a game. Denver's defense is averaging only giving up 17 points a game. Something's going to give. Something has to give. Is Baltimore going to be held under 31? Is Denver going to give up more than 17? I think so. I think both of those come into play. And here's what I'm thinking. All right. First off, we have Baltimore this week. Denver cannot look past Baltimore. There's no way we can look past Baltimore. All right. This is a 2-game swing, like I mentioned a little bit earlier. Then we play Kansas City on the road as well the following week. These are 2 must wins. These are 2 hard games. We cannot afford to lose to Baltimore because now we're on the way outside looking in for the playoffs because they will hold the tiebreaker all across the board. If Denver beats Baltimore, we hold the tiebreaker across the board. We would have beaten them, like I said earlier, we would have beaten them head-to-head, and we would have owned the conference. Okay? So it's a must win this Sunday. No 2 ways about it. Now, what do I think is going to happen? Like I said, Baltimore's averaging 31 points a game. Denver's defense is averaging only giving up 17 points a game. Something's going to give. Both of them, in my opinion, are going to give. Okay? Right? Final score, I have it this way. Baltimore 21, Denver 20. Okay? Baltimore's going to get 21, 10 points less than they normally average, but Denver's going to give up 3 or 4 more points than they normally give up on defense. Baltimore 21, Denver 20. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I just don't see it. Baltimore's at home. It's an early game for Denver. 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock mountain time in their bodies. 10 o'clock on the West Coast. Baltimore's fans are going to be crazy, rabid like they always are. Sorry, guys. I don't see Denver winning this game. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I just don't feel it. Just don't feel that the Broncos can pull this one off. Yep. What more can I say? What more can I say? I really do hope I'm wrong. Okay. Before I wrap this up, guys, I always want to go back into the chat. I want to thank each and every person for taking the time out of their busy Friday, the day after Halloween. Everybody's safe and sound, hopefully for the most part. And then just want to thank those that have been watching, those that have been listening, those who have been participating in the chat. Thank you so very, very much, each and every one of you. I'm going to take the time to read off the names of the people that have been in the chat. And here we go. Batting leadoff was my brother-in-law, Rudy Torres. Thank you so much. D-Rock followed him up. Thank you, D-Rock, for being in the chat. Really do appreciate it. Bobby Hill III, thank you so much. Kamani Dixon, G-Money88. You guys are the best. Really do appreciate it. Travis Johnson, thank you so much for popping in. Always appreciate new people. Mike Clark, really do appreciate it. Madungus Creevy, thank you so much. You guys are the best. Ladre Grant, thank you so much. Really, really do appreciate each and every one of you every Friday or sometimes Saturday, taking the time to participate and be a part of the show. Rudy Torres wraps it up by saying, love you, Bronco Billy. Thank you so much. My brother-in-law from Vegas. Really do appreciate it. That's it, guys. That's all I have. Thanks for watching. Thanks for participating. If you have not subscribed, please do so. Hit the thumbs up button, the like button. It tells everybody else that watches you enjoy the show, you enjoy the content, you enjoy the crazy 66-year-old guy talking sports, and really do appreciate it. Thanks, guys, so very, very much for being here each and every week. You guys are the best. Without you, the show would not be anywhere near as good as it is. You guys are the backbone. You're the strength of the show. And I'm just here bringing you the topics, and you guys are what make it fly. Thanks each and every week. Thanks each and every person, each and every week for being there. We have shows throughout the entire week. Don't forget this coming Sunday, Broncos at Ravens, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, and 1 o'clock, wherever you may be. Broncos Breakdown will be going live. Madungus Creevy, as well as myself, Bronco Bill, we will be hosting it. It's a blast. It's fun, guys. Participate. It is enjoyable. We always appreciate each and every one of you stopping by in the chat even if it's just for a moment or two. We really do appreciate it. You guys are the best. Until we see you on Sunday, don't forget, shows Monday through Friday. Broncos Breakdown next Friday, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Next Friday. We will talk to you then, but we'll also talk to you this Sunday. Till then, guys, have a fantastic Friday evening. Be safe. Don't forget, turn your clocks back. 2 a.m. Sunday morning, or like most of us do, Saturday night. Till then, guys, take care. Bye-bye.
Fast lane when I pass in the street, bag of money in the passenger seat. Simcoe's been asking for me on the road from the west to the east. Way up, I might never come down, cause the coast racking up the flame out. So high, I might never come down, so what, this is my lifestyle. Wait a minute, work